Dragon's Dogma 2 already contains armor combinations that are completely inaccessible to players and pawns. They're reserved exclusively for bandits, skeletons, and other NPCs, and this is the perfect time to talk about changing that. Capcom says the Dark Arisen expansion for Dragon's Dogma 2 is still being worked on right up until launch, and that community enthusiasm has already pushed them beyond their original plans. Therefore, this is the best possible moment for a focused, constructive feature push. This is the first in a mini-series of focused community requests for 2DA that I plan to make, and today I want to discuss layered armor. The research behind this video comes from Wes Yes, who documented dozens of armor combinations used by bandits, skeletons, and other NPCs, so I'm using his video as my starting point, but his original breakdown contains far more examples than I can reasonably show here, so check his video out as well and support it. Wes's key observation is that many outfits worn by bandits are extremely modular and contain separable gloves, shoulder pieces, chest pieces, and other components that players and pawns don't have access to. Now, we do know that there will be some sort of transmog system that we'll be able to unlock in the expansion area called Noggin, which is sick, but what if that system was taken 1, 2, 3 steps further? Transmog separates gear's appearance from its stats and lets you modify the look of what you wear, but in huge chunks. Chest armor contains, the chest piece, gloves and pauldrons, skirts, etc. Layering could break those huge chunks down into smaller components to give you the opportunity to create personalized outfits. My strongest argument for this feature is that many of its building blocks are already being used inside Dragon's Dogma 2. Existing NPCs wear combinations unavailable to Arisens and Pawns. Some armor sets have sleeves, chest sections, hoods, and skirts removed. The assets are already being mixed and matched in the game internally. Of course, a proper player-facing system for this would still need menus, compatibility rules, testing across Dragon's Dogma 2's enormous range of body shapes and sizes, and of course plenty of clipping management. I assume it's much easier to dress bandits or skeletons in unique combinations of clothing because they're all roughly the same height and body size, but still, I think this feature is worth spending dev time and resources on. Plus, Capcom won't be starting from scratch. Many of the assets, variants, and combinations already exist, so we're asking for some way to access them. Here's why I think a lot of players want that. Dragon's Dogma 2 has one of the most detailed character creators in any RPG. You can spend hours creating your Arisen and main pawn only for their equipment to eventually force them into the same complete outfit chunks worn by everyone else using that vocation. The original Dragon's Dogma gave players more freedom to combine clothing and armor. Dragon's Dogma 2 dramatically improves character creation, but reduces some of that equipment customization. Some you win, some you lose. That feels especially limiting in a game built around pawns. Our pawns are not confined to our own playthroughs, right? They travel to other players' worlds, join their adventures, and represent us while we're not even playing. Their appearance is a huge part of their identity. Players remember distinctive pawns and they recognize them and rehire them again and even become attached to them. It happened to me once or twice. So giving us more freedom to customize our pawns' outfits would strengthen one of the most unique and important systems in the series, the pawn system. Layered armor could also give existing early game equipment some renewed value, and underlayers, armor variants, and cosmetic components could become rewards for exploration, quests, or even bosses. A realistic version of this could begin with a curated selection of compatible options, compatible parts. The game could add separate cosmetic underlayers for the torso and legs, alongside a limited selection of interchangeable gloves, bracers, sleeves, pauldrons, and skirts. Players could still equip the original complete armor piece, but then replace or disable some of its parts, some of its components using alternatives. Capcom could also expand the toggle system that already exists for certain helmets. If some helmets allow us to raise or lower their visors, hoods could receive similar options. Other armor could allow us to hide sleeves, fur parts, skirts, or shoulder pieces. Even something as simple as toggling selected components on and off would create far more outfit variety. So the minimum version of this does not need to recreate the entire equipment system from the first game. Just give us underlayers, a few component toggles, and access to some of the alternate armor combinations already used by NPCs. That alone would go a long way. So I want this to become a small series called What Dragon's Dogma 2 Still Needs, but I don't want it to be limited to my requests. So if you make Dragon's Dogma content or post on Reddit, or simply have a feature you strongly believe would improve the game, make your own case for it. Pick one feature, explain why it belongs in Dragon's Dogma, and describe what a realistic version would look like. The point is to give Capcom clear, constructive examples of what different parts of the community want while the expansion is still being developed. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to decide what the community wants, but I'm suggesting a clear way for everyone to make their own case. Here's the shared format I'm proposing if you're going to push for something. Present one feature you think the game would benefit from. Explain why it improves Dragon's Dogma 2. Describe what a realistic version could look like. And finally, if you can, show some examples, evidence, or even mock-ups. Alternatively, you can just comment under this video and I'll turn some of those comments into future uploads. What I think we shouldn't do though is spam the official accounts and, harass developers or attack people pushing a different feature. And now here's my quick message to Capcom, Director Kinoshita, Producer Oyama, and the Dragon's Dogma 2 development team. This one's for you. First of all, thank you for continuing to listen to the community and for working to make Dark Arisen the best expansion it can be. Many players would love to see some form of layered armor introduced in Dragon's Dogma 2. The game already uses many alternate armor variants and modular combinations for NPCs that players currently cannot access. We understand that turning these assets into a player-facing system would require additional development and testing, but even a curated system allowing compatible underlayers, armor variants, and component toggles would give players far more freedom to personalize their Arisen and Pawns. So please consider layered armor for the Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen expansion or as a separate Dragon's Dogma 2 update in the future. Thank you for your work and for continuing to hear our feedback. And that's it for today. Melvo out.
You have my gratitude as well, sir.